Alright guys, so today we're checking out the brand new Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. Now this is the newest earbud from Samsung. It comes in retailing at $200 and it's actually available in 3 different colors, and these colors match their new lineup of phones. So you have the black model, the purple, and the silver. And the pair we're going to look at today is the black model. There are some things that I really like about this pair. There's some things that I'm very confused on why they made the decision that they did. Now I do want to say right up front that I think these are Samsung's best earbuds yet. It still doesn't change the fact that I do have a couple of issues with these, but let's go ahead and start with checking out some of the features, what you get inside the box, and see what makes these different. Now to start with, the one thing that's confusing me about this pair is it seems as though Samsung is kind of going the route of Apple, where you kind of have to have a Samsung device to really get the most out of these earbuds. So if you're somebody that is not using a Samsung phone or a Samsung tablet, I'm going to go ahead and say that I really think there are much better options out there. Now, one of the things to start with is these do have Bluetooth 5.0. They also have SBC and AAC playback, so there's no aptX playback, but it does have it if you're using a Samsung device where it will upscale your audio. Now this is something that the Sony earbuds do, and the Sony earbuds can do it with any phone. So that should show you that Samsung should be able to do this with any phone, but you have to be using a Samsung phone for these earbuds to upscale your audio. Now another thing is I do recommend downloading the Samsung app. That's really so that you can get the most out of these, because there are built-in EQ settings. You can adjust the controls on here, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And it also has the Find My Earbuds feature, so that if you do misplace them or lose them, it really helps pinpoint the location of your earbuds. Now, one feature I really like, now this is something that you have to go in the app to switch on or off, is the voice detect mode. Now, if you have the earbuds in your ear and you have them on with the noise canceling, you obviously can't hear a whole lot, but let's say somebody comes up to talk to you. As soon as I start talking, the earbuds can register that I'm talking, and then it switches into ambient mode on its own so that I can hear my surroundings. Now, whenever I'm not talking, about 10 seconds from then, it will just switch back over into noise canceling mode. So I love the fact that all of that's automated. It's not something I actually have to do on the earbuds themselves. So that feature I really like. Now these do have what they call a two-way speaker system. It's basically a woofer and a tweeter. So you have one thing that's handling your bass, it's kind of separating from the other one that's handling your mids and the highs. And what that allows you to do is to have it where you can listen to music loud and the bass doesn't overpower everything. The clarity of everything still stands out. Again, we'll talk about this a little bit more when we talk about the sound. Now, another feature that these have that you can only use on Samsung devices is it has the Dolby head tracking. This is basically the equivalent of the spatial audio that the Apple AirPods Pro has. But again, this is one of those features that you can only use on Samsung devices. In fact, it has to be a Samsung device that's using the new One UI. So since I don't use a Samsung phone or a Samsung tablet, I feel like I'm limited and kind of held back from getting the most out of these earbuds. Now these do have 2 different levels of noise canceling. It's basically a high or a low. I did keep it on high, and I felt even at the highest noise canceling level, it still was pretty far away from the Sony and the Bose, which I consider to be the best when it comes to noise canceling. And this is one of the issues that I have, because I feel like the noise canceling should be one of the main selling points of these earbuds. So where I feel like the Sony and the Bose would cancel out around 90% of the noise, I felt like the Samsung was further back at around 70 to 75%. And I feel like that's a pretty large gap, and I don't feel like it's warranted when you can pick up the Sonys for less than $200. Now, as far as the IP rating, this was a surprise because most noise canceling earbuds are usually around IPX4 or IPX5. Now, the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro come in at IPX7, so they are waterproof. So this is easily a pair that you can go out and about. You can do what you need to do and not have to worry. If it starts to rain, you're going to be fine. If you sweat heavily, you're going to be fine. Even if you drop them in the water, they're going to be okay. So that is definitely a huge plus. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, you are getting the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips. And this is another difference between these and the Galaxy Buds Plus, because the Plus actually had the little wing tips that allowed the earbuds to stay a little more secure in your ear. And for some reason, Samsung decided to just go with a normal silicone ear tip. In these, you don't have a little wingtip to keep them in your ears. And I always felt like the Galaxy Buds Plus felt a little more secure than the Galaxy Buds Pro. So if that's something that you liked in the Galaxy Buds Plus, it is something you're going to be missing in these. Now, as far as the charging cable, it does come with a USB-C cable. And speaking of the charging cable, battery life is pretty decent, especially if you're going to use these with the noise canceling turned off, because with the noise canceling off, you're going to get around 8 hours of battery life on the earbuds with around 28 hours total using the case. Now, if you're going to use these with the noise canceling turned on, that brings it down to 5 hours on the earbuds and around 18 hours using the case. And another good thing about these is they do have a fast charge feature. So if you do pick your earbuds up and they are dead, a quick 5-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use. Now, moving over to looking at the case reminds me a lot of the Galaxy Buds Live. It's a very small, squarish type case. It does have Qi wireless charging, which is a huge plus. Now, on the back, you can see the USB-C input for charging, and then it has the single indicator light so that you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now, if you do have a Samsung phone or one of the phones that have the reverse charging on the back, you can also use the case for that as well. So now let's move over to checking out the earbuds. Now, the earbuds, in my opinion, is again where it kind of looks like a mix between the Galaxy Buds Plus and the Galaxy Buds Live. And the reason I say that is it obviously has the round type design like the Galaxy Buds Plus, but it has the vent system like the Buds Live. And I don't know if this is for noise canceling purposes. I do know that it's supposed to open up the sound a little bit and give you a little bit more space. But one thing I do want to point out is it also allows a lot of your sound to leak. So if you're going to listen to these at higher volumes, people around you are easily going to be able to hear what you're listening to. That may not matter to some people, especially if you're just going to use it in a room or at home by yourself. But like in my case, where I like to use my earbuds in bed, my wife can easily hear what's going on. If I'm listening to these in the living room and the kids are around, they can easily hear what's going on as well. So this is another design choice that I wish they didn't make. Now, as far as the controls on here, they do use touch controls. And this is another one of those pairs that if you want to have volume control, you have to sacrifice the ability to switch between noise canceling and ambient mode. So right out of the box, you have the ability to play, pause, skip your track forward, and go backwards. And you also have the ability to turn your noise canceling on or switch it over into ambient mode. But I actually went into the settings and switched that mode off so that I could have volume control, because that's a little bit more important than switching it from noise canceling to ambient mode for me, especially when it has the voice detect feature. So if I do just start talking, it will just automatically switch into ambient mode, and I felt like I could sacrifice that for volume control. Again, I don't feel like I should have to sacrifice it. I feel like you should be able to control everything on the earbud, so that is something I wish they would change. Now, another huge plus about these is they do have these smart sensors that will auto pause if you take the earbuds out of your ear, and it will resume if you put them back in. Now, as far as you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, you'll be happy to know you can use either the left or the right. And then as far as the microphone, this is another area where I can tell they put a lot of focus on. I don't know if they're trying to compete specifically with the AirPods Pro, but you can tell their microphones are doing a really good job at focusing in on your voice and blocking out your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the Galaxy Buds Pro. I think these do a very good job of picking up my voice. I do notice that it picks up bass tones pretty nicely, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. I feel like the sound on these are absolutely excellent. I do prefer switching it over into the dynamic EQ setting, but I find that that's my personal preference no matter what Samsung earbud I'm using. I feel like it just pulls a little bit more bass out. The treble is definitely nice and bright. In fact, I think for most people, if you're going to listen to these at higher volume, the treble can actually seem a little harsh at times. So I actually prefer this. I do like a very bright treble that balances out with a really nice boomy bass. So these definitely pull that off. And the mids are another area where I feel like they did a really good job. It didn't matter what genre I was listening to. It didn't matter if it was a male or female vocalist. It didn't matter which instrument it was. You're able to hear everything really nice and clean, and at the same time still feel that really punchy bass. So it is a dynamic sound overall, but it is also the dynamic setting that I have it in. But even the setting as it is right out of the box, it's pretty boomy. It's a little warmer than the dynamic setting. So the huge plus here is there are different EQ settings, and you really can get the sound that you want out of these. Now, one of the big bonus about this earbuds, which was also a drawback, is the vents on here allow for a little bit more space in the audio. It doesn't feel as closed in or congested. And this plays very well for genres where there's a lot going on. It kind of gives you the presence that you're watching a band live instead of just feeling like two speakers are right here in front of you. So that is definitely a huge plus. And so the audio is not an issue when it comes to these earbuds. Now, as far as my cons with these, I do have a few. One is I don't like the fact that the sound leaks pretty badly from these earbuds. I don't like people around me to hear what I'm listening to. I really don't like the controls and the fact that they feel limited. Again, this is just a personal preference with other earbuds. I prefer to just have all of my controls all on the earbuds. And then I really don't like that you have to have a Samsung device to get the most out of these earbuds. So my overall conclusion is this: if you're looking for a pair of true wireless earbuds that have some of the best noise canceling out there, I feel like you have better options with the Sony and the Bose. But if you're looking for one of the best sounding earbuds on the market, if you're looking for a pair that EQs very well, that way it can kind of cater to the sound that you prefer, these do an excellent job with that. They do have some pretty nice features. They're very small and compact. I do feel like you get the most out of these if you are already using Samsung devices, but even at the $200 price tag, I think there's a lot of value here. The huge plus is with it being a pair of Samsung earbuds, they go on sale quite a bit, so I think it's probably the best to hold out until you see them go on sale, probably for around $150. I think that's more of a sweet spot for these earbuds, but I think even if you pick them up at the $200 price tag, you won't be disappointed. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Samsung Galaxy Buds Pro. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.